Okay, hi, my name is Bre Nedden, and welcome to the Mama's Summer Recipe to Thrive Summit. So today I'm with Angela Lee, and Angela teaches parents how to raise emotionally healthy children using conscious parenting tools. She has a background in emotional intelligence and a deep understanding of the importance of unconditional love. Angela provides a unique approach to parenting through her books, mentoring, articles, and online courses. So, welcome, Angela. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Bree. And I just hope that the information that I bring is of value to your listeners.
Oh, I'm sure it will be. Absolutely. You are an expert in this. I wanted to really kind of jump right in, but emotional intelligence. I've
Yeah,
heard
what
a
the
bit
heck is
about that. Right. I've heard a bit about it probably over the past year. But I think it's an integral part of parenting. I mean, society in general, but specifically in parenting. So I know a little bit. I don't know probably as much as you. Well, I definitely don't know as much as you. So can you tell our listeners maybe what emotional intelligence is?
Yes, I can. So
Great.
it is understanding your own emotional reactions because we all have emotional triggers that our behavior responds to. And it's understanding that you have these triggers and then understanding how you can neutralize the triggers, but also understanding that your emotions are only information and they're there to like inform you how you're feeling about something. And don't fear emotions because they're information. And so really emotional intelligence is the understanding A, that I have triggers, and B, understanding that I need to feel my emotions. I need to allow them and feel them because they're giving me information. The fear of feeling has caused so much trouble in this world. You think about, I lived in England for a little while, and there's the keep calm and carry on kind of societal culture there. and and there's a lot of people who have no idea what feelings are. I tried to do a guided meditation in England, and one of the things that I say in my guided meditation is remember when you're a child and feel the feelings of being playful, running through the streets, riding your bikes, whatever you're doing, and then keep that feeling. And was like the record player went, and
Yeah.
everybody's like,
They're like, wait,
what? How
what?
do I feel?
Yeah. Yeah. Not when you're supposed
Yeah,
to keep calm, right?
exactly. And that kind of culture is actually very harmful because longitudinal studies of childhood trauma done by Alice Miller shows that repressed feelings, they never stay repressed. They're there. And unless they're brought to light and dealt with, it turns into violence. And whether it's violence lashing out at other people or violence at yourself, which is self harming behaviors, that that is the cause of many issues in society. So
Yeah.
just teaching our children that emotions are information, nothing to be afraid of, go ahead and feel them is
Yeah.
huge. And it's also beneficial for the parents too.
Yeah, absolutely. So I like that. Um, not to fear the emotions and emotions are information. So when I hear you say that, I immediately thought that, if your kid has been in school all year, and now they're home for the summer, their environment obviously has changed, right? So it then becomes um, really an opportunity for children to express their emotions that maybe they
Mhm.
have suppressed at school. And so I think as a mom, you may or may not initially see what's going on. Maybe there's just like some behavioral changes or something that you
Mhm.
see, but it's important, I think, to have that open communication. I mean,
Oh,
with your
yes.
child in general, but over the summer, if you notice something. So I think what I'm hearing you say too is that those painful emotions that are really negative, right? Like you said, maybe some anxiety, fear, depression kind of thing, you lead
Yeah.
to communication. And I think that this could maybe just be a topic that parents aren't necessarily thinking about when it comes to summertime because they say, "Oh, summer is fun." In summer you're doing
Yeah.
this and you're keeping busy, and you know what I mean. But there's downtime in summer, and so you never really know.
Well, and we don't know what the child experienced in school, right? There could
Right,
be bullying, and the child doesn't want to talk about that because they don't want a parent to intervene. That'll make it worse for the child, according to the
right,
child.
right,
So, so there are reasons why children maybe don't share what's going on. But for a parent to have emotional intelligence and understand that any behavior of their child that is brings concern is an opportunity to talk about emotions.
right. So how would you, if there's a mom this summer or really at any time who suspects that their child is suppressing some emotions? Maybe they notice huge behavioral changes, but maybe they're just subtle things that maybe
Uh-huh.
only a mom would notice. What would you suggest? Like where would she start?
You know, a lot of times I believe that when a parent, they might suspect that something is happening. So um, if they suspect it's bullying, the parent can open the conversation with the child by sharing their feelings of what happened to them when they were a child. And that helps the child to understand that my parent understands what I'm going through. And I can now talk to my parent about this because oftentimes children will see the parent as an authority, someone on a pedestal.
Right.
and, and so when a parent can share how they felt as a child about injustices or other things that happened to them as a child, then that is opening the conversation and allowing the child, it's like an open door that the child can then run through.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that works for after I asked you that question, I was thinking, well, could this be age specific? So I have a 9-year-old son, um, but I do that. Like if he had a rough day,
Mm-hmm.
I like give an example of like, oh, when I was your age, I had a rough day too,
Yeah.
and this is what happened to me. And it's one of those memories that I totally remember and share with him. And like, I know it's not the same, but like, did something similar happen, like that,
Yeah.
just to kind of help him understand, I guess, a bit.
And from my perspective, it's really even talking about the feelings because even though the circumstances can be different, the feelings could match. And
Yeah,
so, you know, this happened to me and I felt really pushed out. I felt really, you know, put upon, however,
right.
whatever that feeling was.
Yeah,
And
angry even. Yeah.
yeah, anger, whatever. And the child can then definitely relate from the feeling perspective, even if the situation is different.
Yeah, completely. I really like that. So let's say a mom does that. A mom, puts themselves kind of in their child's shoes and finds out something's going on. How, I mean, I know that we don't know what the kid's going to say, right?
No, we
So we
don't.
don't. Um, but in maybe non-urgent cases, how could a mother continue to support um, their child throughout the
Yeah,
summer and help them deal with those big feelings, those big emotions that maybe the children think, oh my gosh, I just can't do this.
I can't feel this. I can't stand feeling this way.
Right,
This is fair. I don't want to feel this.
right.
Um, so a parent can teach a very simple tool to children, and that is putting your focused attention on the feeling. What I have learned is that when a circumstances happen and we don't like it, we make up a story in our mind of what's happening. And if our mind focuses on the story, that extends our exposure to the feeling. So we need to disconnect our mind from the story. And we do that through focused attention on the feeling. All that is feel the feeling. So, hey, little Johnny, you say you're feeling sad. Tell me, what does that look like? Is it a ball? Is it a sharp stick poking you? Where is it? Just have the child focus on that feeling and then name the feeling. I am feeling sad. And not I am sad, but I am feeling sad
Yeah,
because
there's a big difference there.
there's a huge difference when we use the words I am. Anything that comes after that is what we're claiming about ourselves. I am
Yeah.
claiming to be that.
Hmm.
So I am feeling sad, and then allow, just give permission. Say, it's okay for me to feel this way.
Yeah. It's incredible what
Feel,
happens when you give kids
name,
permission.
allow. That's it.
Feel, name, allow.
Feel, name, allow.
I like it.
The feeling, once you give permission, the feeling can flow. And the biochemistry of a feeling is 120 seconds. So the biochemistry of your body as a feeling is in motion lasts only 2 minutes. So
Mhm.
it's our
We're
minds
the
that
ones that prolong it.
I have seen so many people talk about manage your feelings,
Right.
and I'm like, no, manage your thoughts and allow
Yeah.
your feelings.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. I'm thinking that when you say this, I love the managing your thoughts instead of your feelings. So
Yeah, and we can explore that a little if you want.
I would love to, but I would love to actually kind of transition to the mom
Okay.
managing their thoughts and their
Okay.
feelings because we want moms to thrive this summer, right? And so
Right.
that comes with a lot. Like there's some pressure.
It
So
does.
to help
And
your kids manage their thoughts, you really got to
how do
manage your own
you?
thoughts.
Absolutely.
Right.
And that tool of feeling is also very important for adults too. So
Right.
it sounds it sounds like ridiculously simple, but the profound effects of allowing your feelings over time, it can undo a mountain of damage. So yeah. In terms of understanding thoughts, so we as children have these authority figures in our life. It could be teachers, it could be your parents, it could be aunts, uncles. It doesn't matter who, it's an adult, an authority figure, and they tell you something critical about you. You take in their view of who you are, and it may not be truth, it may be their truth, but it doesn't have to be your truth. So, there are a lot of people who were raised by parents who were basically asleep and did emotional damage to their children by telling them that, they're always a loser, or they're gonna be this, or they're gonna end up in jail.
Mm-hmm.
And the Talmud says, we do not see the world as it is, we see it as we are. And
Mm-hmm.
that's fine, but it's really profound when we apply it to those adults talking to us,
Yeah.
because that means that they were viewing the world as they are. Everything that came out of their mouth was a description of them, not
Mm-hmm.
a description of you. It's a projection.
Right.
And so when we understand that we're carrying around these thoughts that don't belong to us, that aren't helpful to us, we can release them, understanding that the person who said that thought to us was looking at the world through their own filters and their own perspectives.
Right.
And so there's also the collective consciousness. So the thoughts of religion, the thoughts of society, the thoughts of your culture, and those also pop into our head and kind of keep us held into a box. And so
Right.
understanding that every thought that comes into your head doesn't not necessarily yours, and you
Right.
have the ability to choose.
Right.
Is this thought helpful? If it's not, just let it go.
And you really got to choose every day. You have to
All the
be
time.
conscious of
Yeah.
what is happening in your thoughts so you can better serve um your children.
And even teaching your children that little thing can have huge benefits for them.
Right. Right. Or even I think too when you're saying these things, I've done some exercises in the past where it's like little Bre, like maybe I
Oh, those
get
are
triggered.
powerful.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, why am I triggered by this? And it's like, oh yeah, this is coming from little Bre because when I was little, this is what happened to me. And I'm like, that emotion is resurfacing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes even I think it's beneficial to share that with your child. Like, what, I'm actually having a rough day today because I'm feeling
Yes.
angry. I was thinking about that. And that transparency and honesty will really I think strengthen the communication, but the connection with your child so that moving forward, even really for
Yeah.
the rest of their lives, they will be open to saying, hey, you know what, mom? I'm having a bad day. Or like, hey, you know what, mom? I came home. This is what happened to me at school today. Like, I know the teacher didn't call you because nobody saw it, but this is what happened to me. And
Right.
just
And
opening
how
that.
do I deal with this? And
Right.
I think I think it is uh, I think emotional intelligence, understanding emotions and being able to open the conversation about emotions,
Right.
the mental health of America would be so much stronger if
Yeah.
we just talked about emotions.
Yeah. And it starts in the home. I'm a huge believer of that. So I think parents in general, but moms have a good role to play in there. And if somebody hasn't done this before, it's never too late to start. But it really is not just summer. You can use this, give
This is
permission through
lifetime.
feel. What's that?
This is lifetime. It's not
This is
just
lifetime. Yeah. Yeah. But giving your kid permission, feel, name, and allow. That's something that if anybody took away anything from this interview, I think that would be amazing because just those three steps can
the
really change your
that
relationship with the child.
yeah, that and the other piece that could be critical is questioning your thoughts.
Right.
Does this thought benefit me, my family, or humanity? And if the
Yeah.
answer is no, then it's gone.
Right. like feel it and then it's gone. Yeah. I love it. I love emotional intelligence. I feel like we could talk about this for hours because it's so complex, but also so important. But oddly enough, kind of easily simplified to a degree. So I love these actionable steps that you've given us. Because as you know, our goal is to set up every mother to thrive. So we're nearing the end of our interview, and we're asking every speaker this question. So how can a mom best set herself up to truly thrive this summer? What would your answer be? Although I'm sure you're full of wisdom, what would your one answer be?
I would say choose yourself
I love
and
it.
and give yourself grace, because most moms put their family first and they sacrifice and they sacrifice and they sacrifice for their family. And really, what that's teaching is that the women should sacrifice, and that's the way it should be. And it's not a good lesson to teach your children. When you take time for yourself and you choose yourself first, you know what? I wanted that piece of pie, and you can have something else. I'm going to have that piece of pie. Instead of, when I was a mom, it was like, oh, here, you have that piece of pie.
Yeah. I'm the mom that like
So,
splits it in half. Like, I still need mine, but you can have a little.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
get it.
So choose yourself some of the time,
Yeah.
because that teaches your children to choose themselves some of the time.
Yeah. I love
And
that.
self-love is one of the greatest gifts we can give our children.
Absolutely, by leading by example.
Yes,
Um,
modeling is huge.
Huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want the audience to be able to find you. So tell us, we'll tell the audience where they can find you, and then a little bit about your free gift.
Okay. So my website, angelalegh.com, AngelaLegh.com, is the portal to all kinds of fun things. If you click on parenting, it should take you to a sub website called The Parent's Promise. And there's links to a huge amount of resources for parents, including guided meditations, including short papers on how a parent can help a child through anxiety or depression, and also links to all my articles in the Los Angeles Tribune, which includes some fun ideas for parents.
Okay,
So,
awesome. It's
yeah.
a lot of resources. Thank you for sharing that with our audience. And we will link that with this episode. So they'll be able to just kind of click a link and head on
So,
over
and
and
then
take it.
if anyone wants a deeper understanding of the emotional intelligence, it's as easy as reading a bedtime story to your kids, because my books are fairy tales that teach this stuff. And in the back of the book, there's a guide for parents that tells them, you know, different perspectives of how they can look at things like bullying, child abandonment, adoption, all these hard situations that we don't really know how to talk to kids about, but maybe we can when we have a deeper understanding.
Totally. And are they able to find your books on your website as well?
They are on my website and they're on Amazon.
Oh, perfect. Awesome. Okay. So
Easy.
people can kind of just peruse on your website and find a ton of resources. Okay, well, thank you, Angela. I appreciate you so much. So thank you for joining us today, and I will talk to our audience a little bit later.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, bye-bye.